Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is John from Cloud Tech Insights. Today our topic is Amazon S3 Express 1 Zone again. We are focusing on how to migrate your S3 files for faster processing on S3 1 Express Zone. We'll be focusing more on the S3 batch operations today. And let me quickly give you an introduction. So here's a quick introduction to Amazon S3 batch operation. It is nothing new, it's been there for a while. So it's a feature to manage and modify millions of objects in S3. It's a batch operation. It's run behind the scenes and it does a lot of modification, like a bulk operation. And especially large scale operations like copying, tagging, and deleting objects on a single request. And this is the key focus of our conversation today. It's the migration of S3 files from any S3 tier to the Express zone. So this has been used for migrating from Glacier to Standard zone, etc. But here our focus is how we can migrate from a standard S3 zone to an S3 Express 1 zone for faster data processing or faster file processing. Typical use cases where we are using S3 batch operations are managing and tracking storage costs. Like you can tag these objects and understand that, oh, this object belongs to a certain project or certain department within the company, and thereby the cost will be passed on to those departments. Second is the data management. There are bulk operations like the access control layer, metadata updates to, like, let's say millions or a couple of millions or billions of S3 object that can be done using S3 batch operation. And then comes the most critical part where it's used around compliance and security. So you can tag certain objects as confidential, public, or private. Based on the IAM access control, they can access these objects. So you can make those bulk operations using Amazon S3 batch operations. With this, let's get to the demo. So we have created a bucket called source S3 bucket standard. And I have a file called sample.csv here, and then an additional file called manifest.csv, and then a folder to report the job status as well. Okay, so I'll talk about these folders in detail, but let me start with the manifest.csv. So this is a file where it mentions what to pick up from which folder and which file to pick up. And this can be in the form of JSON as well as CSV file. So in this example, I'm using the CSV file option. So this is how the file looks like. You can provide the bucket name here, which is a source S3 bucket standard, and then the file called sample.csv. So when you create a batch operation, if you can provide this manifest file, or you can automatically generate these manifest file, but by using inventory, which I will discuss later. But if you have a specified files that you want to move on a consistent basis, you can specify all these information into the manifest.csv file. So moving on, so this one, we have the manifest file, the file that needs to be transferred, and this folder is where all the jobs reports and the logs come in. So you can see whether it's a success or a failure. You can go log in and see all those information in this folder. Moving on to the Express Zone bucket. So this is a folder that we created, which is the Express use, and this is the bucket that we're going to use. This is our target, and we're going to create a batch operation, which is when you go to the Amazon S3 menu, you can see an option called batch operation here. You can create a job or you can clone the existing job. You have both options. In this window, you can see what they're asking, what format is the manifest file in. So in this example, I'm gonna talk about we will talk about the CSV format, and we can browse and show them where the file exists. So this is where the manifest file exists, and you can also add a version ID if you want. And one thing to keep in mind is manifest file can also be part of a JSON, which can be automatically generated based on events in S3. So there are options where you can manage the event configuration or inventory configuration and export it into a manifest.json, which I will talk towards the end. So once we pick the CSV and highlight where the CSV exists, you hit click next, and then you have a variety of operations. You can start from copying the file, invoking a Lambda function to process some of these file in a certain way. You can play with the object tag, delete the object tag, play with the retention. So in this example, I'm just going to do a simple copy, and this is where the the destination have changed. You can see the directory bucket has popped up, and you can browse the bucket as well. So you can see our bucket called the express use. So I'm going to select the directory or the express zone bucket. And then, like you said, we can, like I said, we can always pick and choose the different zones, which one, where to migrate to, where to, so you can use for archival, etc. process. So, but in this example, we are focusing on moving from the S3 standard zone to an express zone. So we select the express zone here, and then hit click next. You can put a simple definition, say standard to express, and this is the priority number. The higher the number is, the top the priority. So you can always prioritize your workloads based on, if you have multiple batch operations, say, hey, I just want to prioritize certain workload, this is where you do it. And the next comes the completion reports. Once the job is complete, it'll generate a file, and that file is stored in certain location. So you can specify those locations. So for this one, I'm picking up the folder that I created within the source S3 standard zone, and we're choosing that path. And this is a critical part of the S3 batch operation. So I have created a IAM role for this batch operation. So this is very important. So this is the role I created. And one thing you have to do is make sure that you have all the express zone permission. That is completely different from the S3 zone. So this is very critical to understand. I've been generous here, but please ensure that you give only the right access to the information to the folder. And you also want to make sure you have the right access to the source folder as well. So I've specified certain folders here. I didn't give a generous access here just because there are so many S3 folders I have, but very few S3 Express Zone. So ensure that you have the permission, the S3 Express Zone permission, as well as the S3 permission in order to do the operation. So this is the IAM role that I created. Without this, the job will fail and say access denied to certain zone, or access denied to the access S3 standard zone. It can happen either way. So here I'm picking up the S3 batch operation role. And once you can review the whole thing and then click on create job. So the job will take few seconds to create. Okay, so once it's created, it says awaiting your confirmation. So this is where you have to click on the job and then click on run job. And then towards the end, you can see run job highlighted in yellow. So click on that, the job starts running. So it will take a few seconds to up to a minute based on the number of S3 file. And then you can see the job status in the same window. Take few seconds. I'm just refreshing to see the latest update. So it says the job is complete, and we are waiting for a confirmation to see if it's a success or a failure. Okay, so this says total success rate, 100% success rate and 0% failure rate. So which means the job went through. So let's go back to the S3 Express Zone bucket using the directory buckets here. There you can see the sample.csv is transferred. So this is not just for one file. You can have millions or billions of file along with some level of processing involved. So there are a lot of use cases that you can use for S3 batch operations in general. And like I said before, there are a couple of ways you can automatically generate these manifest files. So if you want to create a automatically generating manifest file. So go to the source folder where you want to capture all these events and generate a manifest file instead of manually creating the manifest file. Go to the management section under inventory configuration, create one inventory configuration, provide a name, say provide list of S3 file, and then you can give a prefix if required, and you can pick and choose, say only the current. If there's a versioning involved, pick the current version, or else if there is no versioning, just say current version only in this account, which means you can also generate inventory from different account as well. So inter account, cross account is possible using S3 Express Zone. And then you can specify, do you want a daily report or a weekly report? What format do you want? All these information is provided. And then once you specify all information, you can create the job, and it will start creating the manifest.json. And next time you can point the S3 batch operations to a JSON file, which is automatically generated, so that you don't have to keep on adding the new files manually. So it makes the job much easier. And like I said, you can have copy a record from a different account or copy a file from a different account to the current account, and also inter account transfer, as well as transferring from standard to express zone, and many more use cases can be done using S3 batch operations. So these are just a few things that I mentioned, but there are a lot of operations. You can always look into the website for the latest information. I'm concluding my demo. Thank you for watching the video. For more videos and latest updates, please subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.